I'm Shirley. Welcome to the Shirley Ryder Show, where I'm going on a journey to find weird, wonderful and exciting things, like surfing. I'm going to be talking to surfers at Mount Maunganui Beach. I will be talking to magicians, I will be talking to musicians, artists, counsellors and healers, and anything I can find for your viewing entertainment. Right, let's go. Right, here we are with the man himself, Derin Greenslade.
Hey team.
So Derin, you've had rather an interesting life, and I remember you growing up and you were actually living next door to my cousins on Grange Road.
Really? Who were your cousins?
They were the Gordons. They were Ian, Fraser, Fiona. Yeah, my
wow,
aunt
you learn
Fiona.
something new every day. Yeah, I did. I did, yeah. So when we came to Tauranga, there was the family home in Grange Road. And I remember some really fond times with Fraser in particular, who was close to my age.
Yeah, he's hard case.
Yeah.
Fraser.
Yeah. Hey Fraser, how you doing?
And of course later on you went to Ojumotai
Aotearoa College.
College.
Yeah, Aotearoa College. Yeah.
And you were involved in production there?
Yeah, I was involved in music and drama and got involved in a bit of singing there. Ojumotai was really strong in the drama and the music arena, and so I was involved in the school choir at the time. And I met some guys that they'd formed a band called Catch 22, and I got invited to sing with them, and that's where I got started singing in bands.
And who was in the bands?
So we had Greg Bold was our guitarist, Roger Bulow, who was the ex-bassist from Kokomo, and fantastic guy, fantastic bass player. Malcolm Wasford was our drummer. And for some time we had a keyboard player called Carl Frost, and haven't seen Carl for a number of years, but that was a cool experience. It was great. We were only kids, playing pubs and doing that sort of thing, and doing the race course, and
And you went on to, was it 1017? Is it?
Yep, had a band called 1017 with more local guys, and that didn't last too long. Went to university after that, and didn't do a great deal of music at university in the band scene. And then went to Auckland, and I was in a band up there initially called Zigzag.
That's right.
And that was with Graham Hardacre. Graham was playing in that, and that was a good experience. After Zigzag, I was in a band called Corporate Fraud, and we did a whole lot of corporate stuff in Auckland. And we went on to sort of a whole lot of different musical things. Did a bit of jazz, did a bit of opera, believe it or not. Did a lot more corporate work. Really just eclectic sort of stuff. Came back to Tauranga in the 90s and was in a band again with Graham and Mike Kirk and Pat Hura and Kevin Schilling and Neil Pepper. And we were called China Zoo.
Great band.
Yeah, we had a bit of fun. It was good. It was good. And so had a great experience with China Zoo. And I finished performing in about 2003. I think was when I decided I'd had enough. So stopped doing gigs at that time, and seeing I'd started when I was about 15, I think that was a pretty good innings. And I've kind of kept sort of a bit of a hand in music over the time. I sing with a vocal tutor by the name of Scott Braid, who in fact lives upstairs in our house at the moment. Scott's great, fantastic. Anybody want to really know how to do what you're supposed to do when you're singing, go and see Scott. He's fantastic. So I just go and share a bit of time with Scott, and generally it's just a bit of time out to go and do a bit of singing rather than anything else. So so along the way I've always been involved in furniture, and we'll just dispel a myth. I'm not involved in Greenslade's Furniture Co anymore, guys. That's my brother and his wife. Andy and I started that business in the 90s. And it's still going strong today, but Andy and his family own that. And myself and my partner Lindy, my lovely partner Lindy, we've got we've got Furniture Zone stores these days with some other people. And so if you want some decent furniture, come and see us at Furniture Zone, guys. Just a bit of advertising.
Yeah. And whereabouts can we find Furniture Zone?
Oh, we've got 26 stores. So we've got 4 of them across the bay: Bethlehem, Tauranga Central, Owens Place, and out in Papamoa. So
awesome.
So it keeps us busy. Keeps us really busy. Along the way, one of the things that I've been involved in since the early 2000s is motor racing, and we talked about it before. Had the misfortune of having a bit of a crash in Invercargill in 2009, and I ended up having to have my leg amputated. Well, part of my leg amputated. So these days I've got a lower limb amputation. But one of the things that was really interesting throughout that whole time, I think it can do a lot of things for you. It can drive you down, or it can teach you that you're only here once. And I think that I've looked at it in terms of only being here once. And so just getting into everything. I'm still racing.
Yeah.
I think I've climbed more hills and cycled more distance than I ever did with two legs.
Wow.
I think I've got a lot more patience and tolerance in some areas. Lindy will tell you otherwise, but I try to have some patience in a whole lot more areas. And I think one thing's for sure, what it does is it's made me realise that there's nothing that you can't do. It's just a matter of just adapting what you do and getting on with the job of doing it. So I'm still doing more than I've ever done previously.
Because I was reading in the paper, I was just looking back, and they were talking about how you were walking up Mount Maunganui when you'd had your leg done.
Yep.
I think you walked up 20 times or something, is
Yep.
that right?
Yeah, I made sure that, I think one of the things, before I'd lost my leg, I'd only ever climbed the mount once. And so what I decided to do is I was going to climb it as often as I could. So the first time I climbed it, it absolutely just ripped my leg to bits. It ripped it to bits. And I took the thing off and it was just a mess, just a shambles. But that recovered pretty quickly. And from there I just decided that it was something that I wanted to do. So yeah, that article that was done, I made the reporter climb the mount with me. That was the trade-off.
I'm glad you didn't do that today.
Yeah, no. To get an interview, she had to do it at the top of the mount. So that was kind of fun. She's a hell of a lot fitter than me. It was a dumb thing to do. she did it easily. Yeah. So that was a long time ago. That was 2009.
Yeah.
So
and of course, I've gone through cancer, and we all go through things in our life, and everybody has difficulties. And with your losing your leg, like that must have been it must have been a huge thing at the time. I can't even begin, even though I've gone through things, I can't begin to think how it would be to lose my leg. It must have been huge. How did you sort of deal with that?
Long time ago. Well, I had a pretty interesting way of looking at it, I guess. So I remember my brother saying to me once when he came to visit me in hospital, he said, "Mate, just imagine if you'd lost both legs." And I said, "Yeah, I would have dealt with it. I remember there was a male nurse in Waikato Hospital. This is before I had my leg amputated, and he recognised that it was going to go. It was going to come off. So he was a bit of a hard bugger actually. He was good, really good. He sort of come and sat down and said, "Listen," he said, "I know that the doctors are telling you that they can save it, and these guys are, these guys in this team, they're telling you they can save it." He said, "I'm telling you," he said, "in the whole time that I've been working in this hospital," he said, "I've never seen a leg that bad be saved." He said, "So you're going to have to tell them, because if you don't tell them, by the time they get to it, it's going to go gangrenous and it could kill you. So you're going to need to tell them that you need this finished with." And so that was, I remember it well. It was early October, and it was the weekend that Bathurst was racing. So he basically come to tell me that my leg was going to be amputated. "You better get over it, son. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to get your head around it, and then we're watching the motor racing." And it was like, okay, all right. So that's exactly what happened. He walked out, gave me 5 minutes to come to the conclusion that I was having my leg amputated, and I was going to have to tell the surgeons that if they didn't hurry up and get the job done, then there was a problem. And we were watching motor racing. So that's precisely how it worked out. We watched the motor racing for the day. The following day, one of the heads of the plastic surgery team came in to say to me that they'd come to the end of their opportunity to save my limb, and that in their belief the limb had to be removed. And I said, "Yep, cool, right, when are we getting on with it?" And that was kind of how it was. And then that was the plastic surgery team. But then you had the other guys who were the bone guys. I forget what they call them, but they hadn't come to the end of their thing. Right. They had decided, oh no, we're not ready to take it off just yet. So there was this kind of clash of the codes, if you like. Chest beating and stuff like that. But anyway, there was a meeting had a day after because it was time. And so that was, the accident was in late September, about September the 26th. And on October the 10th or 11th or something like that, that was when I had the limb amputated. But, you know, I never realised how ill I was becoming, because what was happening, of course, my limb was poisoned.
Right.
And so I was actually getting quite sick.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I'd had my limb amputated and, of course, the blood could clear itself up that I realised how ill I was actually getting by how much better I was after I'd had my limb removed. So I'd had a lot of other damage as well. Like I broke everything in the accident, and it took quite a long time to come right. I can't even tell you how long it was. But I was in a wheelchair for quite a long time. Yeah. And that was a great experience. It was really good. It teaches you a heck of a lot about what people go through that you never, you see people in wheelchairs, but you never realise how, you look at a footpath and you think it's flat. They're never flat. They're on a tilt, people. They're on a tilt. So when you're in a wheelchair, the wheelchair wants to go to the hole in the ground, and so it's not what you think. So I learnt a lot about that. And when I was in a wheelchair, I couldn't walk. That was smashed and this was amputated, so I couldn't walk. I couldn't get a prosthesis fitted because that ankle was still smashed and it took a long time to repair. So I spent a lot of time in a wheelchair, and I got really good at being in a wheelchair, and I got quite comfortable being in a wheelchair. But the thing was, when I got a prosthesis fitted and I could stand up, then all of a sudden I looked at the wheelchair and thought, never want to go back there again. So even though I still own one, in case this limb gets corrupted in any way, I don't really ever want to go back into one.
No.
But, it's taught me a whole lot of humility. Taught me a whole lot of...
absolutely.
Taught me a whole lot about what people go through.
Yeah. Compassion for others.
Compassion. I think that's probably... Understanding, yep, most definitely. And so I think over it all, people say, oh, that must have been really hard. I don't remember it being hard. I remember it being probably one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. Yeah. Taught me a whole lot of different stuff that I didn't have as part of who I was. I think I have become a lot more compassionate, understanding. Just, I don't think I whinge as much any longer. I used to be the sort of guy, cut myself with a bit of paper, and I'd scream like a banshee, and that's a bit of an exaggeration, but some people will tell you, I'd be just like a stuck pig. But these days, I think my pain thresholds had to become a hell of a lot better. So yeah, it's been a journey that has never really gotten to me. I think maybe in the early days, maybe in the really early days, I think there were probably times where I went to get up off the couch and realised, oh shit, I'm buggered and spend 5 or 10 minutes putting my leg on, whatever it was, and that was kind of like a bit demoralising. But now there's not too many times that it's been a problem. We had a few things in Europe that were a bit of a nightmare, eh? Yeah, we went on this tour to Europe. We went on this tour to Europe and we were in Belgium. We met up with these people, and I mean, man, their diet is so different. You get there and they have this beer. I'm not a beer drinker, but they've got all this different beer, and it's really different to New Zealand beer. It's this, I don't know whether the hops are different or whatever. They drink beer and they eat bloody cheese, and that's about it. Cheese, bread, and beer. Oh, and chocolate. Can you tell? So anyway, we're having this, and wow, my blimmin' stump just absolutely exploded. It just absolutely got corrupted, like you wouldn't believe. I don't know what happened. It got infected like I've never had. Yeah, terrible. And it was awful. It was leaking, and I won't bore you with all the horrible, gory details, but it didn't make it much fun for a while, eh? I didn't enjoy that. And I think that's one of the few times that I've ever had a problem with it. Oh. And unfortunately, we were overseas in the middle of a trip.
So it's diet connected.
Well, it was food connected without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was food connected without a doubt. I mean, I mean, I don't drink a lot of beer at all.
No.
Not that partial. I have a drop every now and then, but Jesus, in Belgium, man, everywhere you went, you just try one of these, and I mean, that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
These boys.
Yeah.
So we drank a lot of piss. We ate a lot of cheese. So yeah, that's how that went.
So what was your highlight in Belgium apart from that?
Oh, the beer and the cheese. No. We went to Spa Francorchamps for the motor racing, which was a classic car event, and saw some of the most incredible cars that we've ever seen. Just millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of collectible cars, and and to go to one of the iconic racetracks of the world was fantastic. And the history in Belgium is pretty incredible. Some of the areas that they've got there. I mean, I don't know about you, but once you've seen one church, you've seen them all. To be fair, but
that's what they are, I suppose. But
but a lot of history in Belgium, and I think also going to Flanders Field.
Yeah.
I'm not big on war, but I have to tell you, anybody that wants to see what sacrifice, our forefathers did for us, they need to go there.
Right.
They need to go there. Yeah, really do. So that was interesting. We do a lot of travel, with our work, and we do a lot of travel anyway. And losing the leg hasn't stopped any of that.
No.
It's fine.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a mountain in Canada called Grouse Mountain, and it's pretty steep, and it's about it's about 4 times the height of the mountain, 4 or 5 times the height of the mountain, but it's much steeper than the mountain. It's like that.
Wow.
In fact, it's so steep that you're allowed to climb up it, but you're not allowed to climb down it. It's that steep.
Right.
It's that steep. So you go up it, and then you've got to take the gondola down. So I thought, I'm going to give that a go. So the first time I did it, I think it took me about 3 3/4 hours or something. It was just massive. It was massive.
Yeah.
And then I did it a second time, and I think it took me an hour and a half or something, because it took you under an hour, eh? Yeah. So it took Lindy under an hour. It wastes me. Just wasted me. Yeah. So we climbed that one, and that was good. And there's another range of mountains in the States called the Beartooth Range, and I cycled that, and that's 11,000 feet, and to put that into context, Mount Cook is 12,000 feet, so it's only 1,000 feet less than Mount Cook, and we went there again recently, so I could show Lindy the trail, and it's quite a trek. So you get over yourself pretty quick. You get on with it, as you hit your challenges, and you just go, okay. Just moving on. I mean, with your cancer, big ups.
That's
you know what it's like, eh?
Yeah, totally. Live each day, don't.
Yeah,
to
you
the best
do.
that you can live.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's just get back into the music again, because you've played with some pretty cool. Well, everyone's been pretty cool, but I was thinking of some big names, that you played. Was it the Corporation or something?
I was in a band called the Music Corporation.
Music Corporation.
Which I was really privileged. I mean, right from the get go. I mean, I've been involved with some pretty cool people. Been involved with Graham Hardacre for a long time. Pat Ura, the guys like that. Neil Pepper. Kevin Schilling, who's now in Australia, those boys, obviously Greg and Rog and Malcolm earlier than that. But I had the privilege of performing with guys like Billy Christian, who was in Ray Columbus's Invaders, and one of the best bass players this country's ever known, and a really inspiring guy, full stop. Yeah. Incredibly inspiring man. He and his wife Trish are the loveliest of people. They have a real special place in our hearts. And Susie Lynch. Yeah. Susie is an incredible lady, and still just.
Graham's always said she's got pitch perfect.
Yeah, she has, and she is once again totally and utterly inspiring in the way that she is. Ray Columbus, who's no longer with us, performed with Ray. And lots of great musicians. Steve Larkins, who's doing a really successful show on cruise boats now called Mercury Rising. He does a Freddie Mercury tribute show. just incredible. You know, there'll be lots of musicians that I'll miss who possibly will see this and think, you didn't mention me, you mongrel. You know, guys like Mike Kirk, Al Campbell, you know, guys like that. We've had a lot of fun over the years, and you know, I've learnt a lot. Mike Walker, fabulous keyboard player. Did jazz with those guys, and you know, we just did a lot of corporate stuff and a lot of different styles of music. So yeah, for many years, I think it was probably in excess of 20 odd years, was really privileged to have performed with some of the greatest musicians and singers in this country, and you know, and it's something that you never forget. And I mean, but you know, out of all of it, in Tauranga here, I still say we've got some of the best players, some of the best musicians that I've ever worked with. You know, you know, I mean, I often think that you know, I have to say that I think Graham Hardacre has probably got one of the best rock voices I've ever heard.
I agree.
Let alone worked with, and you know, yeah, I hope he never hears that.
We can edit it out.
Yeah, edit it out. Nah, don't edit it out. I don't care if he hears it. It's true, bloody true. You know, but I've worked with a lot of great people, and you know, we've had some great laughs, and you know, we've done some great shows, and enjoyed the ride. Never ever saw myself as being, you know, a recording artist or anything like that. It was, you know, I didn't have half of the talent of most of the people that are writing their own stuff and doing their own things.
You had a great voice. Oh, tell us about your opera.
Oh,
your opera experience.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So when we were doing all these corporate gigs in Auckland, I used to find that by, you know, we'd do sort of 6 nights in a row, and by the night 6, it was kind of like I was, you know, struggling to get through a night, and whiskey was my greatest friend. So I went to a vocal tutor in Auckland to just try to get a bit of a handle on, you know, learning a bit more vocal technique and a bit more breathing technique and stuff like that. And it was recognised at that time that as a young fella, I had quite a range, and so it was suggested that I might want to do a few opera performances, which I did, and that was pretty different. It was interesting. You know, funny how opera crowds are. All of a sudden, you know, you were talking to them as we're talking to each other now, and then all of a sudden you start singing opera, and all of a sudden their voices change and they react completely differently, and it's not. Didn't enjoy that really, that side of things, and the structure involved in it is really different. You got to be really dedicated, you know. And I mean, I don't want to shut up all day. I don't think I could. And if I was an opera singer, I'd have to do that. And so, you know, and being involved in it in a full-time capacity, that was never ever going to happen. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I learnt a lot, and yeah, just.
And what was the note that your range?
Oh yeah, I don't know what my full range was. I used to be able to hit a top C pretty easily. It's pretty commonly known that as you get older, unless you keep on doing it, you're going to lose it. And I couldn't get there now. I don't even think I'd get to a B. I might. Who knows? Don't know.
And I suppose you want to show us?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's worth a try.
No, I don't. No, long gone. But no, I mean, I still love music. I still enjoy it a lot. But I keep on thinking, oh, you know, one day it might be good to go out and do a gig. And then I think, nah. But yeah, I love getting together with my friends, and you know, there's a good mate of mine, Dean Gordon, has a place out in Te Puna, and has the Pack House experience going, and I really enjoy going out there sometimes and just listening. I don't usually sing. I just go out and listen, and there's some great stuff going on out there. Aidan Dean, if you're watching, I heard your new song last night, mate. Something special. Don't say it's nothing special, because it isn't. It's something special. They call themselves nothing special. Yeah, when we were in Turkey, we went to a I don't know, it was a little restaurant place one night, and we'd all had a bit of a skinful, and we were touring with a whole bunch of people from all over the world, and there were these Turkish guys. They didn't speak any English at all. Universal language music, and I'd had a skinful, so I got up and started singing with these guys, and then another chap from Canada came up and joined us, and we had the whole place just going off. Nobody spoke any English. Didn't seem to matter. You know, it was still great. So, you know, that sort of thing's cool. It's really cool, and I love doing that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. But that's about as close as to a gig as you'll ever get. Really, from me these days.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about car racing. I was actually going to ask you, how did you get into that? How did you get into car racing?
How did I get into car racing? When we were kids, we used to live at Ahopie Beach, and Dad was the principal of Ahopie Beach Primary, and we he bought my brother and I, maybe it was for my brother's birthday, I can't remember anyway. He bought us a go-kart. We used to tear up and down the beach. And we got invited out to Edgecombe to go go-kart racing out there, and Andy, my brother, was bloody good. He was really good, still is really good, better than me. And so we always wanted to get into that sort of thing, but you know, that costs a lot of money. So when we got into business and business was succeeding, we both decided that we wouldn't mind having a crack. And so in early 2000s, I bought a Mark 1 Cortina two-door coupe, and had a local guy build it into a race car, and that was the start. And so, and we went from there and raced all sorts of different things, and I'm not, never ever will be, you know, hugely successful. Andy's been New Zealand champion a few times. He's a hell of a lot better driver than I am. But I just enjoy it, you know. I just have fun.
So that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
bloody oath, I mean, I've still got one leg left to lose, so you know, I might as well keep on racing.
I've actually got your stats written.
Really? Yeah, well, they're pretty appalling.
No, they looked all right.
They're pretty appalling. I'm involved with a couple of guys. Todd Murphy, who owns Murphy Buses, and Toddy and I race together. We own a V8 Super Tourer together. And we've got a great engineer, Marcus Maskell, who has come back from Finland. He was with the Toyota Gazoo rally team, and Lindy and I went and visited him in Finland when he was over there, and said to him, when are you coming back to New Zealand? We want you to run our race team. So he came back and he's doing that, and he's great. He keeps us on the track, and you know, just makes sure that the team goes well, and we have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And of course, another place you've been to, Wanganui, recently.
Wanganui. So Lindy and I through different things that we won't go into, we ended up in Wanganui to start a different furniture company, the Furniture Zone, called All About Furniture. So we went down there and we bought a house because we couldn't get a rental place that would take a dog, and we got a dog. And so we bought a little place down there, and we started a furniture shop down there, as I say, called All About Furniture. And during the time that we were down there, we got an opportunity to buy out the other shareholders of Furniture Zone. So that's what we've done. And now the store in Wanganui that was All About Furniture is now a Furniture Zone store. Right. And so we were down in Wanganui for about a year, and great little place. Yeah. People bag it, but it's a
good little place.
It's a good little town.
There's a lot of advantages to Wanganui.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I mean, there's a river that you can drive into if you feel like it, and people do that relatively often lately. But it's a good little town. No traffic jams.
That's right. Rush hour's good.
People are great. The people are great in Wanganui. People say that the weather's crap down there, and they're right. It
isn't too bad.
Nah, it's alright.
Yeah, Palmerston's worse.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Sorry, Palmerston.
But Wanganui was a great little town. We leased our house here for a couple of years, expecting to be down there for at least a couple of years. And when this opportunity came up, we bought out the other shareholders of Furniture Zone and returned back here. And where we're talking to you now from is the downstairs of our house, because we leased the upstairs part out, and that's where the beautiful view over the water is. But Scott and Susie, enjoy.
So is this what shop is this from?
Oh, hey, this is from Furniture Zone, of course. This is from Furniture Zone.
So if you want this couch, get down to
the Furniture Zone. And Victoria, what's with this? No, it's furniture's been a part of my life for the last 30 years, and I think it'll see us out. It's a good business to be involved in, and gives us an opportunity to do some things that we're really privileged to do. A lot of travelling. We live in the best part of the world. Mount Maunganui, Tauranga.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful part of the world,
Absolutely.
and you know, we get to see other parts of the world, and I can honestly tell you, I don't think there's another place that I would rather live than here. Perth comes pretty close, I have to say.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, really love Perth. Lindy's daughters and their families are over there, and that's quite an attraction, of course.
Nice.
But you know, that's a nice place. But you know, I've my son Adam and his partner Kerry have just had a little boy,
Oh, lovely.
Ollie,
Yeah.
the little ripper. So yeah, we're pretty happy, and
That's
it's kind of a bit of a problem that you've got. You know, we've got grandkids now.
Yeah.
Some are in Perth,
Yeah.
and some and Ollie's here. You know,
Yeah.
and Kirsten,
Yeah.
Lindy's
Yeah.
daughter's just about to have a little one next month, which will be pretty special.
Nice.
It'll be pretty special. But you know, when you go through all of these things in life, and you come to where we are, you realise that you know, things that you do, they're experiences. That's all cool.
Yep.
And it's great to add that into life, but there's nothing like family. Nothing
right.
like family.
Yeah.
And so, you know, having family here in New Zealand and family in Perth, that's a bit of an endless sort of, not so much a struggle, but it's a draw. It's a something that would be nice to be different, but it's not.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think the same thing. You look at it and you think, well, we are privileged enough to be able to jump on a plane to go to Perth, whereas a lot of people aren't.
That's right.
You know, so we're pretty lucky. We're pretty lucky. Yeah. So that's kind of me, really.
Oh, thanks very much, Derin.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, you're welcome. It's good.
Thank you.
I hope the show's a success for you, Shirley.
Oh, so do I. It'd be nice, won't it?
Hi, I'm Shirley. Welcome to the Shirley Ryder Show, where I'm going on a journey to find weird, wonderful and exciting things, like surfing. I'm going to be talking to surfers at Mount Maunganui Beach. I will be talking to magicians, I will be talking to musicians, artists, counsellors and healers, and anything I can find for your viewing entertainment. Right, let's go.